I made two simple seasonings. One is spicy and the other one is a little bit more flavorful. I'm going to start off by adding the breading into the bowl, basically all the crumbs. I use half panko, and then I'm going to go ahead and use half breadcrumbs. I really like the flavor the Italian breadcrumbs give when baked to a crisp in the oven. After mixing these two crumbs together, we're going to go ahead and start by prepping the spices and the flour. This will be one of our mixed seasonings. It is a 3-ingredient simple spice mix. I begin by adding lemon adobo, sazon, and Louisiana Cajun sazon into the flour. Once I'm done, I will go ahead and crack the egg. I usually use mix into the egg, but in this case I substituted for water for any of my non-dairy out there. I will go ahead and I'm gonna cut my fish into two so I can have 2 slices of the filet. And I will go ahead and add each one into the flour for a nice even coat. Next, I'm going to dip that into the egg. Make sure to get it all coated and move that into the crumbs. As you can see, I'm doing my best not to make a mess. I use big bowls. It's a personal preference and it makes it a lot easier not to make a mess and to move at a much quicker pace. I will continue and repeat the process until I have enough fillets that I want in this spicy seasoning. After coating the amount of fish I want spiced, I take a large gallon Ziploc bag and I place the fishes in there as separate as possible just to make it easier for me in a later time. So once I remove it, it's much easier to separate. I place that inside of the freezer. And now I'm going to go ahead, remove the spicy flour, and now prep my flavor seasoning mix, which I will go ahead, add the flour, add regular adobo, which does include black pepper, add a bit more of onion and garlic powder along with some oregano and turmeric. Turmeric usually just for the little bit of color it gives. Once I make these all up, I repeat the process as before and evenly coat each half a fillet into the flour. Then I will dip them into the egg mixture and try to coat them as evenly as possible, and then into the crumbs. As you can see, I didn't want to have to crack another egg for just one fillet of fish, so I'm going to go ahead and I added 1 tablespoon of water. After that, I was able to actually evenly coat the remaining fillets. After all are done prepping, I put these fishes in another separate Ziploc bag and I place it in the freezer as well. Next, I'm going to show you how they all come out once cooked. At this point, I advise you to preheat your oven anywhere between 400 and 415 if you haven't done so already. If you choose to do it at a lower temperature, I highly recommend, once it is fully cooked, to broil it for an extra 2 to 3 minutes and to keep a close eye on them as you broil. Place the fish in the oven. Cook each side for 10 minutes on 400 or 415 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you want a crispier fish, place on broil high. Typically that's around 500 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 minutes or 1 minute each on each side. And bon appetit.